in order to change the oil, first after we've warmed the bike up already, we need to access drain hose there. We have to take the seat off. Now if you look under the seat, we have to remove this tube. So you just, I'm going to use a pair of pliers here so you can kind of see better what I'm doing. You can just squeeze these with your fingers. Basically you just squeeze the ends in and that releases its grip on there, and you just slowly wiggle that off. Don't use too much force. You don't want to break it. Also, while we're in here, we can unscrew our oil fill cap. A lot of times these are pretty tight because the O-ring gets a little bit dry under there. Because it does have a sight window, you don't really need a dipstick. BMW put one on there. Not exactly sure why, but there it is. So we'll remove that. Just kind of let that sit in there loosely. Then we'll take this tube, we'll fish it through here, and then we'll drape it down into our oil pan. And we'll just let that drain for a while. It is a small tube, so it's going to take a little bit to drain out. We can go loosen the oil filter and change that out a while. The bike. The drain is on the right hand side of the bike and the oil filter is on the left hand side of the bike. This person that put this oil filter on last was very kind. It's a K&N oil filter. It has a 17mm socket. Has a 17mm socket here. That makes it really nice to loosen those off. Sometimes these can be pretty tight. One reason why I like to warm bikes up is actually to hopefully help me take this oil filter off. Sometimes they say the warmer the bike is, the easier an oil filter is to remove. So we'll see if that holds true. 17mm socket. Ratchet. We'll just try and loosen that off. Hopefully it comes off nice and easy. It does. That's great. Love filters with this adapter on there. Now it is common, you are going to get some oil that'll leak everywhere. So it's going to leak a little bit on the exhaust. Don't be surprised if when you start the motorcycle up it has a little bit of smoke coming from the exhaust. And always remember to make sure that you look for the O-ring. Make sure it stays on the oil filter and not on the actual engine itself. You don't want to double O-ring an oil filter because you'll lose all of your oil in a hurry. Now, in between the exhaust pipes on the bottom side of the engine, there is another drain bolt. It's on the oil pan. So not many people open this up. I like to because it gets that last little bit of oil out of the engine for a more complete oil change. 8mm standard thread, so lefty loosey. Just crack it loose. Put oil pan under there. Just kind of through this one. The one thing though is there is a magnetic drain bolt on there, so that's the other reason I like to pull these out. I can inspect and see if there's any heavy metal residue, you know, signs of premature wear on anything. This one looks fairly clean. We'll just wipe that off. We will put a new drain plug washer on there. and then we'll torque that back on. I'll put the torque spec up when I torque it back on. But most people don't change this. I, for one, like to. I feel you get all the oil out of your engine. But there it is. If you're gonna change the oil on your bike and you want to get it all out, take that drain bolt out as well. A little bit of oil. Thread that back on. So we'll take, after that's done draining, fills the pan, we'll take it, fish that back up through. Make sure we route it properly. Through here. Wipe it off. Then we'll just, to reinstall, all we have to do is push that back on there. Should snap in nice. Give it a couple light pulls, make sure that it's on there. Then we'll take the oil cap off. We'll put oil in the oil tank. See where it's at on the sight window here. So we have about 3 quarts in right now, and as you can see, 3 quarts in right now, and as you can see, the oil's pretty high up on the sight window there. So what we'll do is we'll put the cap back on. And we'll run the bike a little bit, let that go down, cycle through the engine, and then we'll come back and recheck that. So we'll make sure everything's dry. Where the drain plug is, around the oil filter housing, make sure there's no leaks. Right after we let it run, and the fans cycle on and off, see we're a little bit low on oil, so we'll just top that off, and then this job will be done. That's how you change the oil on a BMW K1300S. Again, I'm Matt. This is MotoWorks. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.